This report is sponsored by eBay STFC. Game 2 against the Portland Timbers will be getting going Saturday, tomorrow night. You hear that game on Jammin', actually, because we're going to have San Diego State 2 o'clock pregame kick at 4 o'clock. And the Lakers will be taking on the Memphis Grizzlies tonight in the first matchup in the NBA Cup for the Lakers. Marcus Smart and Luka Doncic have both been upgraded to probable. Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
Welcome to the Fletch Zone.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
Well, don't keep us in suspense any longer. Show us what you got.
Scary things about this weekend. The over-under in Dolphins-Ravens.
I was irate at nothing but our self-inflicted wound.
Well, at least Baltimore did their part.
Lamar escaping the pocket, slings it to the end zone. Touchdown, Ravens!
Game 6 in Toronto tonight.
As a monster, but you know it.
I guess that only applies to Dodger fans. The Aztecs defense.
And it's intercepted by Latula. Here comes White with another sack.
Which will be on display tomorrow at Snapdragon Stadium. And SDFC's mastery.
At the cabin in the woods, the terror has been the Danish Dynamite Serrucho.
When they look for the sweep against Portland tomorrow night.
We'll see if Sammy's picks are frightening today, too.
From the scariest place in the city, the studios of San Diego Sports 760, inside the Fletch Zone.
Spooky season indeed at San Diego Sports 760. What's going on, everybody? Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then, and these next 2 hours are going to be rough. I apologize to all of you. Sammy Long's head has simply gotten too big for the studio that he lives in. Sammy had another long shots winner last night, making us all some money. I put $20 on it, got 200 out. Thank you, Sammy. You're helping pay the rent this month. Sammy Long also literally minutes ago was just announced as the winner of the 2025 iHeartRadio San Diego Costume Contest. Why don't you stand up? Give everybody a look. Give everybody a twirl. If you want to watch the show, you can on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760, on X at Fletch and Sammy.
Got
Sammy,
some leggings on.
Are you Tommy Lee? Is that what we're going with?
I just want 80s rocker.
Because you're missing something.
I needed to stuff a cucumber in my pants to be Tommy Lee, unfortunately.
Exactly right.
But I could not find that this morning. But happy Halloween, everybody.
When I tell you that Sammy had all the ladies over in the sales pit absolutely cheering their little tushies off, Sammy absolutely did. That was a wild scene not 15 minutes ago in the iHeartRadio Performance Studio, where Sammy Long is. I think you get a prize. I think you get like $100 gift card or something.
I do.
I think so.
So Fletch and I are at this Halloween party for what, the last hour?
Yeah.
We just come over here.
You know, show prep time.
Show prep. Oh yeah. Super prepared for today. And so we come over, and I keep hearing yelling in the performance studio, like people are going nuts. And so I guess I won. Yeah, maybe that money will go back into another long shots winner. We are on a 2-day win streak, winning one last weekend. I don't know. Someone call that a heater.
I would call it a heater. It's making me money, and I'm stoked about it. Rich on YouTube already saying Sammy on a roll. Tyler saying LFG Sammy. Everyone's going crazy. Now, Alexander saying, are you guys from the Village people? Sammy looks like he's ready for YMCA. So Sammy is Tommy Lee or an 80s rocker or something. Tommy Lee missing a very specific part. I am a Disney adult. I rummaged through my wife's closet. I found one of her backpacks. I found
a Disney adult,
one of her popcorn buckets. And yeah, Disney adult, virgin, whatever you want. That's what I'm deciding to go as for Halloween this year.
Yeah, Ben decides to yell, "I'm a virgin" in front of the entire performance studio iHeart cluster about 20 minutes ago.
Can't believe I didn't win. Crazy. But it is San Diego Sports 760. We got a huge weekend here in San Diego sports. San Diego State getting ready to take on Wyoming tomorrow at Snapdragon Stadium. It's homecoming for the Aztecs, who are taking on a Wyoming team that just shut out Colorado State. So two of the better defenses in the Mountain West going head to head. Coming up tomorrow at Snapdragon Stadium. GoAztecs.com. Few tickets left still. They're trying to sell that thing out. Come by and say hi to me and J.R. Tolver as we get you ready starting at 2 o'clock from the Yellow Lot, where Common Kings is going to be performing. So some awesome San Diego music going to be had at Snapdragon as well tomorrow. Huge week in the NFL, week 9. This is kind of the time for teams who need to make trade acquisitions to prove to their ownership, to their GMs, that they need to make those trades. This is the time where we start to see the separation between postseason teams and just basic ass seasons. Last night we had our first firing or mutual parting of the ways. Baltimore or the Miami Dolphins have moved on from their general manager, Chris Grier. However, maintained their head coach, Mike McDaniel. Sammy, it was a pretty pitiful effort by the Dolphins last night on Thursday Night Football as the Ravens appear to be fighting their way back to what we thought they'd be before the season.
Yeah, that's so surprising last night. Now, on the Ravens side of things, you're looking at Baltimore and going, wow, yeah, they might be back. This is the team that we thought all along. Now, got to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. You did just beat Miami, but Miami bludgeoned Atlanta the week before. They beat the Bears, who were on a 4-game win streak coming into that game. So Baltimore, especially with that division looking the way it is with the Bengals and Steelers really not performing well, I think they're right back in the mix of things. On the other end for Miami, I'm surprised. So Grier gets fired. Mike McDaniel stays. I'm surprised that happened. I don't disagree with it. I think Mike McDaniel has kind of gotten a little bit of a raw deal. If you think about it, the first year, they're about to be the number 2 seed until the Bills beat them on the last week of the season. They go play in Kansas City when it's literally minus 20 wind chill and lose. Then the next year, Tua gets hurt. They go on a little bit of a run at the end of the year. And I get the season has not gone the way they wanted it to, but the best player on the team, Tyreek Hill, also got hurt. They traded away some defensive pieces. I feel like Mike McDaniel is getting scapegoated a little bit. I guess he's not getting scapegoated because he's keeping his job, but I see why Miami is doing that because I really don't think Mike McDaniel's the problem there. Grier's been the GM since 2016, and they have really not drafted high-end talent. If you think about all their big acquisitions, Jalen Waddle was a top pick. That's easy to make. You traded for Tyreek Hill. You traded for Minka Fitzpatrick. All these guys. I mean, the GM, Chris Grier, has done a horrible job of building the Miami Dolphins, a place that you think a lot of people would want to go play.
And a place that, look, Mike McDaniel was clear. He said he wanted speed on the offensive side of the football, and they got it, but they haven't maintained it. It's been odd to see what's happening in Miami, and obviously this was not how anyone expected their season to go this year. But with the Tyreek Hill injury and with mismanagement at the top, it seems like things are going the way of the dodo bird for the Miami Dolphins. All right, Sammy, let's get to the big 3 here of our number 1, where we rip through the top stories in the world of sports, and then we'll kind of get into some of the fun stuff happening here on a Halloween. Sammy, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends?
Co-workers?
It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
Again, if you want to watch the show, a couple ways for you to do it. You can check out Sammy's award-winning costume on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760, on X at Fletch and Sammy. Sammy, where are we going with the big 3?
Let's go back to Mike McDaniel. Do you like that they fired Chris Grier, the GM, and not the head coach? He is apparently, per reports, going to be coaching the team till at least the end of this season.
It is interesting, isn't it? I do like the fact that they're holding on to him. I like Mike McDaniel. I agree with a lot of what you said, Sammy. I also think that it comes into play where you think about if he gets fired, how quickly does he get picked up by another team? And that must be part of the thinking of the Dolphins, is that he's going to get fired and then immediately land somewhere else, even as an offensive coordinator, and potentially hurt the Dolphins. Mike McDaniel is one of those young, super bright offensive minds, and you see it in his scheme, but the personnel hasn't quite matched up to it this year. There's obvious holes within the Miami Dolphins offense. I think quarterback is one of those holes. So if ownership is doing the math and realizing, okay, Chris Grier, problem 1, Tua, problem 2, Mike McDaniel, not necessarily a problem. So maybe quarterback change before head coach change.
I see that. I mean, it just feels like Grier, as I laid out a few minutes ago, all the reasons why he shouldn't be there. Mike McDaniel, I do feel like he doesn't look like a football coach.
No.
And I feel like he gets held to a different standard. I get it. He seems kind of nerdy. He went to Yale, I believe, right? Like I like
on the sideline.
I like Mike McDaniel. I think Mike McDaniel's a genius play caller, and if he got fired, I think you'd be looking at big time teams around the NFL that would be looking for him as an offensive coordinator.
Niners would welcome him back in less than a second.
I mean, 100%. I think the Bills would. I think the Chiefs would. I think there are a lot of teams that would take the Mike McDaniel scheme. He's a very clever play caller. I just don't think he's had the pieces in place. Tua, it was interesting. He made some comments last night about how the amount of Ravens fans traveling to Miami in that game made it loud and made it tough on him. Tua, this was a guy who was like buttoned up. Tua was like kind of he never really said anything bad at the media. And then this year with calling out his teammates, now talking about opposing fans being there, why it's hard for him to get plays off. I'm like, I'm sorry, Tua. If you were better and you guys won games, guess who'd show up? Miami Dolphins fans. So I don't see it's fair that I think Mike McDaniel's had to deal with a lot of incompetence around him the last few years.
When you really do the math on fans infiltrating other team stadiums, it's season ticket holders selling tickets to other teams' fans. That's what's happening. So you're turning off the season ticket holders, which is allowing the massive Ravens fans to come over. And that happens across the league. A lot of people I know own Chargers season tickets. A lot of people I know don't attend Chargers games. It's an investment. So that's just how it goes. Sammy, what's next?
All right, we're going to the World Series tonight. Game 6, Dodgers on the brink. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who threw all 9 innings on Game 2 when he went last week. We're going up against Kevin Gausman and the Blue Jays. Dodgers actually a -128 favorite on the money line to win it on the road. Do the Dodgers get closed out tonight?
I've told you about my buddy who lives out in Chicago, who oftentimes we will sprinkle a little bit because he has things that are available to him that are not available to us here in California. We sprinkled heavy on the Toronto Blue Jays. I think this is a momentum game. I really do. I feel like the Dodgers might be a little bit broken. I think Yamamoto is going to be fantastic tonight, by the way. I think this is a close game, but I do think the Dodgers offense has lost any sort of mojo they've had moving into the postseason. It was pretty pitiful what we saw the other night, and they were swinging for the fences, and no one was connecting. I think tonight, or is it tonight? Yeah, tonight the series ends. Blue Jays are the World Series champions here in 2025.
I think the Dodgers win tonight. Well, it's going to come down to the first 3 innings. We're going to tell, because if the Dodgers get down in this game, I think it's over, because the problem for this team is hitting, as we've kind of been talking about the last few days. They can't hit. Mookie Betts is MIA. Muncy's MIA, Freddie Freeman's MIA since the home run in Game 3. I mean, this entire lineup, Pages got benched. If they can get a lead in this game and you go to Yamamoto, I think they got a shot to win this. And to be fair to the Dodgers, all the pressure's flipped. All the pressure went from the last 2 games. Oh my God, look at the Dodgers. They're losing on their home field. So now Toronto's got pressure because they should win this series. They should close out. But if they get down in this game, and the bats are pressing, I think it's over. I mean, I think it's night tonight, because the Dodgers are so single-handedly trying to hit home runs. They do not bat around the base pass, and that is the number one problem with the Dodgers right now. I said this yesterday. They're the exact opposite of the Padres. Padres don't hit home runs, but do a pretty good job of batting around the base pass. The Dodgers only hit home runs. So if the long ball's there, the Dodgers could win this game by 7. If it's not there, they're going to get blown out by 7.
Let's get one more in here.
Let's go to Thursday Night Football. So let's go back there. Baltimore Ravens put on an absolute clinic. If you were starting a team right now, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, who are you taking?
Because of availability, I'm taking Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson would be tempting. He really would be. And that dude is special. But in terms of longevity and in terms of consistency of being on the field, I think I have to take Josh Allen, because I know for the next 5 years, Josh Allen is going to start 95% of the games. And I'm leaving 5% in case something completely wacky happens. And sometimes he does use his head when he's running. So I'm going to take Josh Allen, because I think the talent level between him and Lamar, there's not that huge of a gap. I would put Lamar slightly ahead of him. But Josh Allen is going to be consistently out there more.
Who has more pressure if they both get to the playoffs this year?
I still think it's even. It's dead even between both these teams. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen have both almost gotten there enough times to where they both have so much pressure sitting on them. Josh Allen, maybe slightly more this season because he has a better team around him and because they started off a little better. I agree. Slightly more on Allen this year.
I agree. I'd go Josh Allen. Josh Allen's your prototypical quarterback. He's unreal. He's way faster than you would think he would be. He can throw it a country mile. Allen would be the guy. Burrow is going to be – I feel like Burrow, we're going to look back at his career, and I hope this isn't the case.
Get out of Cincinnati.
Yes, get out of Cincinnati, because it's a mismanaged organization who cannot get an offensive line right and cannot put the pieces around you with the defense to be solid. I feel like Joe Burrow, like at the rate it's going, we're going to look back as one of the what could have been careers. Like, this is a guy who has the talent to be up there with your Mahomes, your Allen, your Lamar. He's right up there at the top. But the organization he plays for and the amount of injuries he has sustained in college and then early on in his NFL career, Lamar, I feel like it's a bad rap. I don't think he's had as many weapons as Josh Allen has had in some of the playoff runs. But, again, he has to actually go win in the playoffs because Josh Allen did beat him last year. I would go Allen, then Lamar. But in terms of pressure this year, I would say it's more Allen because everyone keeps saying he's going to be the next guy to get the Super Bowl. The Ravens defense is still a massive concern despite how they played last night. But Lamar on the road in round 1 with no pressure on him would be interesting.
I'm honestly thinking about this in my head right now just because we're talking about it. If you're a team, what would you be willing to give up in terms of draft picks to bring over Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase?
Both of them?
Yeah, if you could bring over both of them. I'm saying my next 4 years first round picks.
I think that's where it'd start. I mean, Burrow. Yeah, I mean, because first off, the teams that want Joe Burrow are looking at drafting a quarterback.
Right.
So, and then if they're mid-lane, they're going to have to trade those picks to go get a quarterback.
I'm saying, if you're like a Pittsburgh and you don't know where your future is.
But they would never trade him individually.
They never would, no. But or if you're, who's another? Arizona Cardinals, perfect example. A quarterback who's kind of on the brink. Miami Dolphins, quarterback who's kind of on the brink, where you don't know quite if he's your guy or not. You bring Joe Burrow, even if it's not with Jamar Chase, you just bring Joe Burrow over to your organization. All of a sudden, you know what you're doing for the next 10 years.
Right. The Bengals are never, but the Bengals are never going to let him go because they're such a dog water franchise that they can't attract people to come there. Like Miami, you'd think could attract people to come there. They're like,
right,
you're living in Miami. No state taxes. Like, this is great. Like, I'm making all this money.
Scenery's fantastic.
Scenery's fantastic. The Bengals, but this is the problem with the Bengals.
Be honest, if you were drafting a place to live, how high is Miami on that list?
It'd be pretty high.
You wearing that outfit, Sammy? They would be moths to a flame. You couldn't walk around town.
Oh, get out of here. But the Bengals have already showed you. I mean, like, why would you pay T. Higgins? Why? You have a number one receiver in Jamar Chase. You need defensive help, but anything to make Burrow happy because they're so grateful that they even have some talent in Cincinnati. Just a mismanaged organization.
All right, it's a big weekend here in San Diego. Let's get into both of those storylines coming up next. San Diego FC on the road in Portland for Game 2 against the Timbers. San Diego State at home against Wyoming. It's homecoming. We'll give a quick preview on the other side of both of those games. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Spooky season is back on the free iHeartRadio app. Get into Halloween classics and spirit and stream all your favorite eerie hits and chilling playlists totally commercial free. Whether you're throwing a monster mash tonight or just love a good scare, iHeartRadio is the perfect soundtrack for your spooky season. Listen now. Open up the free iHeartRadio app and just search Halloween. Sammy's probably throwing a big old monster mash tonight.
Might be going to my buddy's girlfriend has a little party, so
take over the aux cord. Just iHeartRadio. Search Halloween.
Oh yeah, that's the only thing people listen to.
That's what
iHeartRadio.
And while you're there, you can add us to your presets. It's easy. You just listen to the free iHeartRadio app. Listen to San Diego Sports 760. Hit that little plus button. Add us to your presets. All right, big week coming up in San Diego. San Diego State football taking on Wyoming. The Cowboys at Snapdragon Stadium. 4:00 kickoff tomorrow night. JR and I'll get going at 2 from the yellow lot. But you look at this game, and there's a lot on the line here for San Diego State. We've talked about the second half of the schedule and how much tougher it gets for the Aztecs football program. They've done what they've needed to do up to this point. Huge hurdle, by the way, getting past Fresno State last week, and they did it in dominant fashion. This part of the schedule gets really tricky because of this Wyoming game, I think, because it's a little bit of a trap game, because it's a game that even coming into the season, everybody circled as a W. And then you got a really tough road test in Hawaii. You're back home against Boise State. This game, by the letter of the law, would be considered a trap game. However, Wyoming's a pretty damn good football team, and they got a really good defense, and it's traveled well so far this year. Wyoming just shut out Colorado State. Wyoming is a little bit better than we all thought they were going to be coming into the season. It's a really tough test for a San Diego State team who's coming back home for homecoming and all the distractions that come with that, who are also really high after getting that win at Fresno State, which is a game coming into the season. A lot of people had circled the opposite direction. So this is a huge stepping stone for Sean Lewis and the San Diego State Aztecs team that I think they got to get over, especially with what's coming up on their schedule. Sammy, are you dying in there? Did you choke on water?
I actually choked on water after we were talking about it yesterday.
So much crap given this way because I choked on water. And now I look over in that other studio and Sammy is on his hands and knees looking like he's about to puke.
All right. Never mind that. No one cares that I almost choked and died. Yeah, San Diego State.
Lots of people care, Sammy. I care about whether you live or die.
Big game. These next 2 weeks, though, like you're looking at, like you said, Wyoming's defense travels well. Aztecs 10.5-point favorite. It's going to be a big homecoming game. And then you look at, like, not to look ahead, but next week in Hawaii. Hawaii is not a good football team, but it's always a tricky place to play because you're playing the.
They put up offense, man. Hawaii scores the football. They
score the football, and you're talking about going different time zone. We've seen a lot of what do bettors always say? Whenever the Miami game, if they're dogs, take the plus. So like a big 2 weeks here for the Aztecs, and then obviously you set up that massive Boise State showdown. But really, just like do your job the next 2 weeks, and should be a fun one. We've seen the Aztecs be able to take the offense on the road as well as at home. Hopefully, can get up and let Lucky Sutton go to work in the second half.
It's a big game, man. This one's huge. They're all big the rest of the way because of what's on the table for them. Tulane just lost. The door is opening up a little bit for San Diego State, and you know the door that I'm talking about. I still think it's too early to talk about that door because Georgia Tech still exists, but it's starting to crack open a little bit. So if San Diego State can remain perfect, and that's a big if, and there's a lot of teams in their way to doing so, the door is open for something really, really special to happen this season. We'll see. All that's still ways down the road. Now, SDFC hitting the road to take on Portland. The hope for SDFC is that this postseason, the initial series ends today. Then they get a nice 3-week break while players go join their international teams for a little bit before coming back and continuing the postseason. If you don't take care of business tomorrow on the road, where SDFC has actually been better on the road this year than at home, if you don't take care of business on the road, you just shorten that break you get. It goes from a 3-week break to a 2-week break. And I don't know that is essentially beneficial for the SDFC program. Sammy, you think it gets done tomorrow night?
I do think so. I think it's interesting the Chucky Lozano come off the bench. So Lozano's going to be playing. He's going to be active. He will not be starting. So kind of creeping along a little bit. At least he's there to come off the bench. I wonder if, though, from a strategic standpoint, and again, I'm not going to act like I'm some soccer expert on X's and O's, but what we saw last week was they got 2 goals early. They had the 1 disallowed, and then the offense in the second half was pretty stale. Portland got that 1, and they held on. Credit to the SDFC back line for holding on to that game. But you kind of wonder, you see this a lot in especially like World Cup games where the rosters are very deep for talent. Like if you're England, you have superstars coming off your bench, kind of a change of pace as a striker or a winger in the second half. I wonder if I bet we'll see Lozano in this game, and hopefully again on the road, it's going to be rocking up there, but hopefully they close it out.
Yeah, hopefully. And that game is going to be actually heard on Jammin' 95.7 instead of San Diego Sports 760. We will have the San Diego State game going tomorrow. Jammin' 95.7 will have the SDFC game going tomorrow. So that's for your listening awareness. All right, coming up next, something fun we're going to do here. The most important game with the most storylines, not named Chiefs Bills, because we all know the storylines going into that one. Let's talk about it coming up next. Week 9 of the NFL season got going last night, continues this Sunday, and it's a big one, man. San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by eBay. SDSU taking on Wyoming tomorrow from Snapdragon at homecoming. Aztecs are currently 10.5 point favorites with the point total set at 41.5. You can hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760 starting at 4 o'clock. Fletch and JR Tolver will be on the pregame at 2. And SDFC gets going tomorrow night from Portland at 6:30. You can hear that game on Jammin' 95.7 FM. Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for. From smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain, get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
San Diego Sports 760. Nice song choice, Sammy. Matches the outfit in a big way. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. Text line going well so far today. 760. I think this is our FedEx guy. Is it Trey? I believe so. 760. Thank God this stupid holiday is almost over. Good God, man. Delivering with decorations all covering house numbers, delivering to schools that they're doing trick or treating, not even learning. Like they don't have all night to do that. I'm ready for the better holiday Christmas, even with the busyness.
FedEx Trey, shout out to you making the world go round today.
All our delivery drivers. This is a rough next month and a half for our delivery
Seriously,
drivers.
You talk about like, that's an impressive job. First off, I'm a terrible parker, so I always think about delivery drivers driving the
Sammy Long, bad driver too. Not a lot of people know about that.
You've never ridden with me.
I can just tell.
No, I'm actually a great driver. But like FedEx drivers, like shout out to you guys. Like you just parking on the side of a road, running up, doing package. That's a whole workout.
858. Don't forget Lamar Jackson grew up an hour outside of Miami. Lots of fans want to see him back. Could Lamar Jackson ever leave the Baltimore Ravens? John Harbaugh, the way he talks about him, is the best quarterback of all time.
You can't, like we were talking about that, like your Burrows, your Mahomes, your Allens, your Lamars.
They're never going anywhere.
I don't care if you offered them 10 first-round draft picks. Like, why would you trade them?
760. I just wanted to see a game 7 as a sports fan talking about the World Series. It would be cool. Game
7s are very fun.
2 best words in sports, man. Game 7. And Major League Baseball does it different than pretty much every other sport. It's like game 7s in baseball, game 7s in hockey are 2 of the best ones to ever get to. All right, coming up this weekend, week 9 in the NFL season. This is kind of the breaking point for a lot of teams. I think this is where we see teams officially throw in the towels. This is where we see teams really reinforce their programs at the trade deadline. So we're playing a little game here. Obviously, Chiefs and Bills are this weekend. We all know what's on the line in that one. That's Josh Allen. It's Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen has actually kind of dominated this series in the regular season, and then postseason has been a different story. But there's some great games around all of week 9. So it started last night with the Ravens Dolphins. Not a great game. Sunday night football this week is going to be the Seahawks at the Commanders. Monday night is Cardinals Cowboys. Well, let's take a look in the middle, because for me, one game pops out among the rest, and it's not even really close. It's that Colts Steelers game in Pittsburgh. 2 teams who are at the top of their divisions. Colts, hell, are at the very top of the AFC right now. And I think that this is a prove it point for Daniel Jones. This is a prove it point for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, which has been bad the last few weeks. Are they going to make a stand against the NFL's top offense to this point in the season? It's just a massive AFC showdown, Sammy.
I'm excited for that one because there's a lot we're going to learn after the game. So a lot of people have made the sense that the Colts are only 3.5 point road favorites. And a lot of people have kind of looked at that going, that's interesting considering that they've blown people out. The Steelers defense has been abysmal up to this point. Though I'm curious, like this game. So if the Steelers have been kind of embarrassed the last few weeks, the defense has been bad. The offense has felt really sluggish, even though Rodgers has played well. Could they get right against an Indy team? And then we start talking about the Steelers again as a threat in the AFC. In terms of the Colts, I still think the Colts have a lot of, okay, yeah, but look who they've beaten. Because their biggest win, they should have beat the Rams. Adonai Mitchell drops the ball at the 1 yard line, but they didn't. So they didn't beat the Rams. They destroyed the Chargers, which was a very impressive win. The Chargers were very banged up, especially on the offensive line, but they boat raced them. They did give up a lot of points, though. This going on the road, tough place to play in Pittsburgh, despite the loss last Sunday night to the Green Bay Packers. I'm excited for that game because Vegas is telling you something. They think that game's going to be close. There's a reason why that's only 3.5. And I think this one could be a little bit of a nail biter on Sunday.
I think it could be too, man. Pittsburgh's a tough place to play in. We all know that. And Pittsburgh's defense has just been dormant for too long, and they still have the pieces on that defense. Like TJ Watt is still there. It's a defense that should be a problem, but it's been a problem the opposite direction. It's been a problem for Pittsburgh. Instead
Where do you stand on both of those teams? Like, do you think either of those teams are legit threats in the AFC?
You have to say at this point that the Colts are a legit threat as of now. I still think there's more to prove. I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl team as of right now. I'm not saying they're the best team in the AFC, but to this point, they've had the best offense in the NFL. And I don't necessarily care who they've played at this point because it's been consistently great so far. And you're still playing against NFL teams on the other side of the football.
Right. It is the NFL. This is not college football where
Right.
you're beating up on a directional school. It's like, okay. Yeah.
We saw the Giants beat the Eagles this year. That's something that
Right.
going into the season, you said it was impossible to happen. And it's like the Giants played better that night. It wasn't just a fluke. They would have a good team.
Yeah. The Colts definitely deserve respect. I think they're going to have this narrative until they go on they play in Kansas City in a month. That's going to be a really big game until Daniel Jones beats Mahomes, Allen, Lamar. There's going to be that until he does it in the postseason. There's just going to be that kind of, what do they say? First impressions are king.
Yeah.
And we've seen Daniel Jones suck for a lot of his career. Now,
I mean, I don't know if that actually is a phrase. First impressions last forever.
But like that's the phrase. But first impressions are a big deal. So we've seen for years Daniel Jones not being an elite quarterback. Now I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that the Giants weren't a very good football team. It was just built on Saquon Barkley and him. He had no receivers. His best receiver for years was Darius Slayton, and the offensive line was terrible. So I think we probably underhyped Daniel Jones too much, and then now maybe we're getting a little overhyped with him until he goes and does it on the road. In the Steelers case, the defense is awful, and it doesn't really make sense because you look at the guys on Highsmith, Watt, Hayward. They got stars. Joey Porter Jr. has been a nice young player for them in the secondary. It just feels like Tom on the message isn't clicking right now. Another game I'm really excited for on Sunday is Texans hosting the Broncos.
Really thought you were going to say Chargers Titans, man. That one's going to be a nail biter.
But like you look at this, the Texans are the number 1 rated defense in the league. And we kind of counted Houston out because they were so bad to start the season. Quietly 3-4 now.
They just kicked some ass last week.
Hosting Denver. In Denver, so we've seen them light up the Giants for a quarter in the fourth quarter. We saw them destroy a Dallas defense, which I'm giving them props for, but everyone makes the Dallas defense looks good. Russell Wilson looked like a starting quarterback against the Dallas defense. Well, now you're going here. You're going against a Houston team that's really good on defense. How does Bo Nix respond? Like, can Bo Nix lead the offense the way he looked like a number 1 quarterback last week? And then on the other side, CJ Stroud. This is a guy who has completely been forgotten about. He was supposed to be the next it. He was the next it quarterback the year that he kind of went off down the stretch. And where is he? Like, this team is still in the playoff hunt. They need a win on Sunday.
You saw CJ Stroud kind of come back to life last week. He was playing against the Niners. He was without Nico Collins. Everybody was talking smack about him. All of a sudden, CJ Stroud's fantastic. He looks like that guy who he was his rookie season. And he was possessing the ball. Houston had a little bit of a run game going, but he was finding receivers all over the field. They get Nico Collins back this week, and you just wonder if something's been awakened in CJ Stroud, and maybe he gets back to form a little bit. The NFL is better if CJ Stroud takes a step forward and is that guy who he was his rookie year. The more young quarterbacks who are extremely talented and who can just figure it out right away, the NFL becomes a better league. I think that's a fantastic game. Now, I will say, who would we be picking this week, Sammy, if we were still alive in Circa?
Oh my!
I thought about that last night.
This is kind of sad, but we're gonna look at it.
Super sad, dude. But I think the pick is probably the Chargers, who are on the road in Tennessee, and like we hadn't used the Chargers up to this point.
Or the Rams I had looked at against the Saints.
God, this is such an easy week. Why couldn't we still be alive? Stupid Bengals, I hate you,
dude. I was such
man.
an idiot. I was like, so last week when the Bengals were up in the game. I was at a bar and I was just looking at next week's schedule.
Same.
Not even watching the game, being like, who we're going to pick. This is fantastic. And then Breece Hall starts throwing touchdown passes.
It was 9 minutes left in the game since he had a 98% chance to win. 9 minutes left in the game. It was a double-digit lead. Breece Hall throws a touchdown pass. Justin Fields throws a pass of his career on a 2-point conversion that gets reviewed and overturned. All those things went against us. And then Joe Flacco, for some reason, on a 3rd and 9, throws the ball a million miles in the air, all the way out of bounds. Oh, man. That one's going to live with us for a while.
That one was sickening. And now all of a sudden he's not going to play, or they don't know if he's going to play this week because he's hurt.
Old person shoulder problem. Golly.
I will never forgive that franchise for what they cost us.
Me neither. And instead of being millionaires, now we're just working our way forward, winning $200 at a time with long shots, which is working. It's working.
Long shot. We've been on a little bit of a heater right now.
Long shots is just the long play to make that $1 million that we were supposed to make in Circa Survivor. So we'll keep that going. Coming up next, we'll have some long shots. Sammy, you feel like a streak's coming? I know you started working on long shots last night.
I was
like 10:30 at night.
Little story. So I was watching the game with a friend of mine, and I was like, Derrick Henry's not gonna hit. And at halftime, I had to come home, and then I was like,
he was only at like 30 something.
He was like 30 yards. I was like, oh, they're gonna take him out. They don't want to get the carries on him. And then I happened to fall asleep for a little bit, and I checked my phone. I'm getting blown up by shout out to all the listeners who rode with us on our picks that we won. So 2-day heater, won last weekend. This weekend we got something special for everyone.
This is gonna be fun. All right. Also on the text line, especially for hour 2, what movie are you watching tonight? It's Halloween night. Let's set some spooky vibes, huh?
Ooh.
What's that go-to horror movie?
Oh, this is good.
Now, I like new horror movies. I like old horror movies. The Shining is up there as one of my top movies ever.
Classic.
But I'm curious what everybody else out there watched. Like my wife, I actually had to watch Thursday Night Football on my phone last night because Hocus Pocus was on the TV, which is one of my least favorite movies of all time.
Well, that's not even a scary. That's not even a.
Yeah, but it's Halloween vibes. It's Bette Midler, who's an awful actress. I don't care what anyone says. Golly, man, Bette Midler annoys the crap out of me.
For Halloween movies tonight, like if you're gonna go with something that's not scary,
Bette Midler was named perfectly because she is mid. Sorry, keep going, Sammy.
If you're gonna go with a not scary movie, I think Ghostbusters has to be the play. Charlie Brown, a pumpkin Charlie Brown is always a classic. I mean, Charlie Brown's always a classic.
Sure.
But if we're going scary movies, which is something I will be watching tonight, hit us on the text line 70470. Start your message with team.
I like it. All right, long shots coming up next. Fill up the text line with your scary movie choices. This is San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for Gary Cooper at Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty. You can always give Gary Cooper a call at 858-376-1299 or visit him online at mountaintrustmortgage.com. And I tell you all the time, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, Gary Cooper is the guy to call. But Gary, you got some other ways for our listeners to save money as well.
Well, I always try because I have so many different lenders that I can work with, but I do have lenders that use a lot of automation. And then, for example, instead of paying for a full appraisal, a lot of times they will use their AVMs to determine value, and therefore you don't have to pay for an appraisal. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, through their automated system, will sometimes waive appraisals. There's even cases where they only need a limited title policy as opposed to a full title policy. I've got lenders that if I use their in-house title and escrow, it streamlines everything, not only to be quicker, but also cheaper. So there are different ways to save money.
Call Gary Cooper today, 858-376-1299, or visit him online at mountaintrustmortgage.com. Gary's looking out for you, man. Go get that degree in loan San Diego Sports 760. We got 13 chances per day for you to win $1,000 every single weekday with the Bonus Bucks giveaway every hour from 6 a.m. through 6 p.m. Listen for the keyword, enter it at sportssd.com. Your next chance to win $1,000 coming up in exactly 13 minutes. Just throwing out stacks of cash, kind of like what Sammy Long does here on San Diego Sports 760 every single day. At 12:45, he does something called Long Shots, where Sammy puts together a daily fantasy sports lineup. We use Prize Picks. You can use whatever you want, but Prize Picks, if you use promo code Fletch, you're going to get a $50 bonus after you play your first $5 lineup. This could be your first $5 lineup. Sammy, on a bit of a heater. 3 out of the last 6. Is that right?
We hit one last week, and then we hit one midweek last week.
I thought it was the weekend.
And then we hit the weekend as well. And then we hit we hit Wednesday night and Thursday night.
My Prize Picks account is booming right now thanks to Sammy Long. Today was payday for a lot of people. It's the 31st. It's the last day of the month. But we got paid twice last night, which was pretty nice because of Sammy. Thank you a lot, Sammy. Today is a Flex Friday, so you get a 40% payout boost. Sammy, why don't we go ahead? Smash it.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money and you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance.
Pay that man his money.
With Long Shots.
Some people like a rabbit's foot. Sammy likes showing off a nip on the live stream. That's his good luck charm today. Text line pointing out that Sammy, through his shirt, is showing some serious skin. Are you Sydney Sweeney over there, Sammy?
I wish I was Sydney Sweeney. I had to tear up the shirt for the 80s rocker look. Oh, whoa.
We're gonna need
there is nip on the stream.
We're going to need to isolate you saying, I wish I was Sydney Sweeney, because that's pretty classic. But where are we going today, Sammy?
Okay, we have a 4-leg NFL parlay. My guy Tyler was giving me some excellent NBA picks, a little Nurkic over playing his old team, but this is going to be a strictly NFL parlay.
Okay,
for Sunday. All right, 4-legger right now. We got that Flex Friday 40% payout boost. So might as well. I mean, we're trying to make you money, guys. If you're tailing, so be it. It's great. Like, you're already with the program. If you're not, it's free. You get the money back.
Do we up the amount we put in because of profit, or is that just risky?
1-800-Gamblers Anonymous. All right, we're going to the NFL.
So no, we don't.
I didn't say no. Hey, listen, you want to. We don't unit shame here at Long Shots. Okay, you do whatever you want to do.
Always.
You want to bet 100? You want to bet 5? You want to bet 1,000? It's whatever you want to do. Okay. I didn't advise anything though. All right, 4-leg parlay. We're gonna go to Pittsburgh and Indianapolis. Fletch is not gonna like this pick. I can just already tell. Daniel Jones, less than 248.5 pass yards. I'll tell you why. You're going, Sammy, what the hell? But this defense got abused. Secondary's awful. They got embarrassed last week. And it's not like there's not talent on this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I also think Jonathan Taylor, if they get a lead in this game, we could see a heavy dose of Jonathan Taylor trying to slow down that pass rush. Because the one thing the Steelers do well is Highsmith, Watt, and them get after the passer. Jonathan Taylor is going to be a big part of this game, as he has been all season. I think they're going to be playing with a lead for most of it. Less than 248.5 pass yards for Daniel Jones. I don't think you want Daniel Jones sitting back there all game when you have a potential MVP sitting right next to you in the backfield, running the football, slowing down the pass rush.
You know what, Sammy? You're right. I don't like that pick. I love that pick.
Oh,
I actually already have a lineup with that pick in my lineup. That's genius.
Okay, I love it. All
and
right.
Your reasoning is spot on.
Less than 248.5 pass yards. All right, we're going to go to Green Bay and Carolina, and I know some people are going to go, we're betting on the Carolina Panthers. Sammy, what are we doing? What's going on? More than 186.5 pass yards for Bryce Young. He missed last week against the Buffalo Bills. Let's not forget, before last week against the Buffalo Bills, this offense has been pretty nice. Like, the Panthers are kind of they're super up and down. They'll drop. They had a huge game against the Cowboys, a couple big weeks, and then a couple weeks where you couldn't find them. Bryce Young, they're heavy dogs in this game. I believe they're 14.5-point dogs in Lambeau. Green Bay coming off an emotional win last Sunday night, biggest win of the season in my estimation against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to go Bryce Young more than 186.5 pass yards. This is a very low number. I expect the Panthers to be playing from behind, so don't freak out if he's at 60 passing yards at halftime. There's going to be ample opportunity to get this in the second half. Bryce Young, Legette's coming around. Tet has been one of the breakout stars at the receiver position. I think Green Bay, this game's going to be a little bit closer. I think people are going to giving it for. So Bryce Young, more than 186.5 pass yards. All right, let's go on to New England, Atlanta. Bijan Robinson, more than 37.5 receiving yards. We're staying away from rushing. Mike Vrabel, the defense is fantastic. He's going to take away what you do best. He's from the Bill Belichick kind of style of defense. What would Bill Belichick always do? Take away your number one option. Your number one option is not how you're going to beat us. Bijan Robinson is the number one option, but I do not think it's going to be on the ground. I think Michael Penix, coming back from injury, going to have to get the ball out of his hands very fast against a very good Patriots pass rush. More than 37.5 receiving yards. In my last pick, Detroit and Minnesota, this one feels free to me. I would be very shocked if this is not hit. Jamison Williams, more than 43.5 receiving yards. This guy went catchless last week, and we talked about it on our show yesterday, Fletch. The offensive coordinator, Morton, was talking about how they have to get him the ball. Jamison Williams is too talented to not be given the football. He is an excellent receiver. He would be a number one receiver on most teams. It's just the fact that you have Amon-Ra St. Brown at that number one spot where he's going to the number two. I get it. Division game. They know each other well. The Vikings need this one. I think this game is actually going to be closer than people give it credit for, which is good for us, which means that they're going to keep throwing the ball at the end of the game. I think 9.5 is too big of a spread for Detroit with McCarthy coming back. Jamison Williams, they're going to get him involved early and often. More than 43.5 receiving yards.
Only change I would make, because I agree with this lineup, I think this is one of the better ones you've put together, is I would bump Jamison Williams up one. But that's just me.
What do you mean bump him up one?
You could bump him up to the Red Demon 49.5. It's not that big of a difference, but it makes a bigger difference on the back end. But if you're comfortable with the 43.5, that's obviously more likely.
Let's do it. Let's do 49.5.
I think
he's going to have a big game. All right, so to recap the lineup, Daniel Jones, less than 248.5 pass yards against Pittsburgh. Bryce Young, more than 186.5 pass yards against the Green Bay Packers. Bijan Robinson, more than 37.5 receiving yards against the New England defense. And Jamison Williams, we're going to go Red Demon. I like Fletch's idea here. 49.5 receiving yards, Red Demon. Guess what, guys? You put $20 in that thing? $220. $220.
Boom.
Call it a heater.
Call it a heater. That's exactly what it is. Sammy's been killing it. If you want to follow along, please do. 615, no unit shaming. Does this apply to all units? You know what? 615 Sammy has been very rough on certain people in their units. So maybe not all units. 858, ha ha ha. Sammy said Steelers doo-doo. Yes, they are. Who dat? Saints.
Did I say the Steelers are doo-doo?
No, but you did. You said the Steelers do something. I can't remember what exactly it was.
I got a little
but I heard it and I was going to say something, but I was like, nah, Fletch, that's childish, you silly little boy. And then the text line backed me up. I should have said something at the time.
Listen, we don't unit shame on the Fletch Zone. Okay. Fletch and Sammy, you do whatever you want to do. Don't let anyone shame you for taking risk. Don't let anyone get after you for taking risk. There's a lot can happen tonight. It's October 31st. There's scary things in the air.
Spooky season. I got to deal with the 15's traffic today. That's the scariest part about my night. Gosh.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Are you sitting out on the driveway and giving out candy?
All I wanted to do was that, Sammy. That's all I wanted to do. But I love my wife, and my wife wants to go trick-or-treating with the nieces and nephews. So we are driving up to Long Beach to try to get there before they're done trick-or-treating and then turning around and coming right back tomorrow morning.
Okay.
It's a great plan, and I fully support her in this plan, and I'm standing behind her, and it's a great plan that's totally going to work.
Okay.
There is a chance we get there and they're already done trick-or-treating.
So you just, yeah, because you're going up to Long Beach.
Yes.
Wait, so what? So you're just following along while they trick-or-treat?
I think so, yes. The plan is for me to have something in a Yeti cup walking in the back with my brother.
That's what I was about to ask. Is it illegal to walk around the street on Halloween with a beer can?
Frowned upon for sure.
Travis Dale was doing around our building for the last 6 hours.
Yes, he was. And there was multiple beer cans that Travis Dale was walking around with. But frowned upon, yeah, probably illegal. Definitely, yeah. But Yeti cup, it's just a water.
You could say it's a costume. Tonight, you could say it's a costume.
Sure.
You could be an absentee father.
What goes through your head, man? Sammy is just cocky as hell today. Couple of Prize Picks winners back to back. He just won the Halloween costume contest at iHeart San Diego.
I didn't even want to audition for it. Our program director Mary Ayala made me go up there.
Sure. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Everyone's favorite part of the week is coming up in about 30 minutes as Steve Hartman makes his weekly appearance on
What
this
is
show.
he doing for Halloween?
Steve's been saying some wacky stuff the last few weeks, man. I feel like someone might need to check on him. I don't know what he's doing these days, but his takes have been getting crazier and crazier. Excited to see what he has for us this week. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by King's Hawaiian. The sport is sponsored by King's Hawaiian Sliders. Lakers back tonight. Luka will be returning after missing the last few games due to injury, as well as Marcus Smart. They're taking on the Memphis Grizzlies in Game 1 of the NBA Cup for the Los Angeles Lakers. Hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Also on San Diego Sports 760, San Diego State Aztecs tomorrow night, 4 o'clock, homecoming game taking on Wyoming. Fletch and J.R. Tolver will get going on the pregame starting at 2 o'clock, and then SDFC will be on Jammin' 95.7. You can hear that on Jammin' 95.7 at 6:30 tomorrow night. Eli Manning reminds you there's nothing like football and King's Hawaiian Sliders. There's something about those soft, fluffy, irresistible King's Hawaiian Sliders that make them a winner on game day. Pick them up this weekend in the bakery or deli section of your grocery store. King's Hawaiian, there's nothing like it.
Welcome to the Fletch Zone.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
Well, don't keep us in suspense any longer. Show us what you got.
Scary things about this weekend. The over-under in Dolphins-Ravens.
I was irate at nothing but our self-inflicted wound.
Well, at least Baltimore did their part.
Lamar escaping the pocket, slings it to the end zone. Touchdown, Ravens!
Game 6 in Toronto tonight.
As a monster, but you know it.
I guess that only applies to Dodger fans. The Aztecs defense.
And it's intercepted by Latuli. Here comes White with another sack.
Which will be on display tomorrow at Snapdragon Stadium. And SDFC's mastery.
At the cabin in the woods, the terror has been the Danish dynamite serrucho.
When they look for the sweep against Portland tomorrow night.
We'll see if Sammy's picks are frightening today, too.
From the scariest place in the city, the studios of San Diego Sports 760, inside the Fletch Zone.
Indeed. It's hour number 2. What's going on, everybody? San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. And I will say, I don't usually watch the stream during the show, but I was watching during Sammy's last update. And if you would like to, it's at San Diego Sports 760 on YouTube, at Fletch and Sammy on X. And you are seeing a little peekaboo from Sammy Long's chest. It's like the whatever you did with the scissors earlier today, you lined it up perfectly.
Shout out to my mom. Helping me with the costume.
She really framed it up. She really did. Our buddy Jay Silves on YouTube saying happy Halloween, gents. LFGJs. Yeah, I would agree. I think we're all Canadians today in San Diego, but we got a busy hour here. Steve Hartman going to be joining the show coming up at 1:30 for his weekly appointment. We did ask the text line earlier about the horror movies you would be watching tonight. 619 says the Blair Witch Project, which I actually just saw for the very first time this past.
I've never seen it.
It's okay. That's one I'm.
Is it still scary?
It is scary, man. They do a good job of like building up to nothing, essentially. Like nothing really happens in the movie. But it is tough to watch on newer TVs, I think, because the higher definition you get with the shaky cam, it just doesn't really look great.
Okay.
So I would imagine when it came out, I think it was early 2000s, maybe at the very, very end of the 90s. Like when it came out, it was probably horrifying to people. I don't know if it's aged necessarily all that well.
Okay.
But it's a solid flick.
619 says they're watching Weapons tonight.
Great movie.
Very, very good movie.
I loved it. That was the first movie in a long time where like 30 minutes left to go in the movie. I had no idea what was going to happen. Couldn't even make a prediction if I tried. I thought it was fantastic. Very well
Were you
done.
scared in that movie? Because I wasn't. There was only one scene I saw in theaters that got me.
The scene, yes, it did freak me out a little bit.
The one in the room.
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
It's like that movie was just adrenaline pumping. Like you never really, and I loved how they did it with the vantage point, kind of a bunch of different storylines going on at the same time, but it was a through line and they would go back in time and reset. Like I loved how they shot that movie. And
then once you knew what was going to happen with that character, they didn't re-show the scene, which can get repetitive in movies when they do the different vantage point.
But the whole time throughout the movie, if you watch it like 619, you're going to be watching it tonight. Keep an eye out because Josh Brolin's truck is driving around the entire movie. And it's in the background of pretty much every single shot. It's so well done. Really, really great movie. So let us know. 70470. Start your message with team. What scary movies will you be watching tonight? All right, we're going to get to the big three of hour number 2 here in just a second with Sammy Long, Steve Hartman coming up at 1:30. We do have Brian Adams tickets to give away this hour. Woo, we got a long ways to go here. Sammy, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends?
I mean, coworkers?
It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
858 with an interesting theory here on the text line. We'll get to that coming up in just a little bit. But Sammy, where are we going with hour 2?
615 real quick also is asking if you'll be wearing a no boo necklace from SeaWorld for the movies and when you're giving out trick or treat candy tonight.
There are 2 separate numbers on the text line asking about me and the no boo necklace, and neither of them are the 615. So I don't know where you got that from, Sammy.
Then the 619.
No, I will not be wearing the no boo necklace. I actually really do like horror movies. Again, the no boo thing at SeaWorld, I have no shame in it. It was more for my niece than it was for me, but I don't regret it at all.
They're just asking if you're going to be scared when the trick-or-treaters come up tonight.
No, I will not be. Or maybe if someone has a really scary costume, like if someone's walking around as like credit card debt, oh man, I'm running the other way.
Real life costumes get real scary.
Yeah, dude. All right, where are we going?
Bring back to reality. Okay, Travis Hunter going on IR will miss the next 4 games. They're assessing his injury, actually, for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Started off pretty hot this season with the Jags, kind of cooled off a little bit after that rough performance against the Rams. If the Jags do not make the playoffs, are they in the market for a quarterback next year?
Dude, it's an interesting topic. Trevor Lawrence, man, he looks like he should have it all, doesn't he? He's got the big arm. He looks like he should be accurate. He looks like a quarterback. The numbers just really aren't there. Now, we've seen that with Sam Darnold. We've seen that with Daniel Jones. To a lesser extent, we saw it with Geno Smith. We saw it with Baker Mayfield. They could have this resurgence, and sometimes it's just a change of scenery. Maybe Trevor Lawrence is one of those guys. To this point in his NFL career, I kind of think you have to categorize Trevor Lawrence as a bit of a bust. Now, he got that contract, which is very unbust-like, but what has he actually done for the Jacksonville Jaguars? And it hasn't worked with Brian Thomas Jr. this year. Are we sure that's a Brian Thomas Jr. problem, or is that a Trevor Lawrence problem? Like, I really don't know what the fascination is still with Trevor Lawrence. I don't think they're going to be in the market for a quarterback, but I think they probably should be.
It is interesting what you said about, is he a bust? Because you look at a guy like Tua Tagovailoa played last night. Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Caleb, it's too early, but as of what we've seen right now, like, define the label of bust, because you think when you think of bust, you think Jamarcus Russell, you think Ryan Leaf, like
right?
You think guys who cannot play the position.
Baker Mayfield at one point was considered a bust,
right? Sam Darnold was a bust.
Yes.
Like Tua in Trevor Lawrence, it's like they're good quarterbacks. Well, solid to good quarterbacks.
I mean, people think they are. I don't. Like, I really don't.
I would take Trevor over Tua.
The same, barely.
Well, you look at Trevor Lawrence, you're like, considering what he could be and what the expectations were, outside of Andrew Luck, was there a college quarterback coming out
never
that has had a more surefire number 1 pick than him?
Elway, Manning, Luck, Lawrence, maybe Caleb. Maybe you throw Caleb in that conversation.
Caleb, but the other thing with Caleb is he didn't win. Like USC, they didn't win. They went
to the Peyton, not Eli. When I said Manning,
right. Trevor Lawrence won a national title, got to another. I mean, this guy did everything you could ask for at Clemson, and it hasn't worked out. I do think they'd be testing the waters, because next year's quarterback class that we thought was going to be so good is not really. There's not really a one player emerging. Like Dante Moore out of Oregon's been pretty good. Well, Norris Sellers keeps everyone thinking he's going to be the number 1 pick, and he's just hasn't really lived up to that. Arch is obviously completely off the map. I mean, I think you're going to start hearing chatter about your Kyler Murrays, your Tua Tagovailoas, your Trevor Lawrences about who's going to be in the quarterback market for next year.
It is always so funny to me this time of year when all the quarterbacks we were talking about all last offseason coming out of college who were supposed to be at the top of the draft, all the chatter seems to start dying down, and then give it a couple months, because wait till the end of the college football season, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? Norris Sellers actually was pretty damn good last year. You know, Arch Manning actually was pretty damn good.
That's what I'm waiting for. Is Texas to win a few games, and all of a sudden we're going to hear about Arch's number 1 pick.
It's such a cyclical thing with college football. But yeah, I think it's fascinating. There's 5 or 6 teams this year in the NFL that I'm looking at. I'm like, could you actually be in the market? Or maybe there's a shuffling. Hell, like with the recent success of Daniel Jones, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, could you see teams taking risks maybe on bringing over some guys who didn't work out in their first spot, but maybe they think could work out in their second spot?
I think the biggest benefit would be a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, because they're at a point where you look at the roster, the defense has not been very good this year, but you think theoretically on the roster, you have a star receiver, you have a good head coach, you would want a quarterback. That's where I could see Tua Kyler, like one of these guys trying to kind of have a second resurgence. We've seen Darnold do it. We've seen Baker Mayfield do it. A lot of Daniel Jones. So we'll see. All right, let's go to the game of the day on Sunday. Chiefs-Bills. Chiefs actually a 1.5-point favorite in Buffalo. Who needs this game more, the Chiefs or the Bills? Both are sitting there at 5 wins. And in tough divisions, Chiefs going with the Chargers and Broncos, who are right there, actually above them. And then the Patriots are actually above the Buffalo Bills right now.
If this was a couple of weeks ago, the answer would have been Chiefs without a doubt in my mind. But right now, I actually think it's the Buffalo Bills who have taken some kind of questionable losses here. The Chiefs appear to be completely back on track. It does feel like the Bills will be a little more emotional coming into this one, which is a credit to Sammy's Chiefs, who understand where the real prize is. It's towards the end of the season. It's in the postseason. The Chiefs feel like they've completely gotten back on track. Now, their record doesn't necessarily say that. It's going to be a battle for them to overtake the Broncos. But the Bills, you feel like at this point, they need one of those kind of signature wins. I do think this game means more for Buffalo than it will for Kansas City.
Because people are putting the narrative on that. Obviously, anytime Allen and Mahomes get together, you have Allen who's 4-1 against him in the regular season and Mahomes 4-0 against him in the postseason. I don't think this game has the pressure people look at it for the playoffs. Like if the Chiefs win the game, people are going to bash the Bills and go, the defense sucks. If the Bills win the game, it's kind of same old. Like the Chiefs, there are going to be question marks about how did the game play out? What happened? Allen got the best of Mahomes. And then, but we've seen this script before. We've seen the Chiefs get beat in the regular season by this team and beat them in the postseason. But both teams are in an interesting spot because every time these two teams have met over the years, there's really not been a competitive division. It's just been, hey, this is a preview of maybe what we're going to see in January. The Chargers and Broncos are right there with the Chiefs. The Chargers are obviously 1-0 against the Chiefs. And
Patriots look like one of the best teams in football.
And the Patriots thing for the Bills, whereas there's more teams competing with the Chiefs in the division, the Patriots have the easiest schedule per FPI the remaining way. So they've already beaten Buffalo, and then the next game they have to go to Foxborough. So both teams, I think, a lot of pressure with this one. I think it's a little bit more pressure than just your average Chiefs-Bills game in the regular season. That's fun to watch from a viewer perspective. But both teams looking to prove a point. I would go. The Chiefs' schedule though is tough the next month. They got the Broncos and the Colts. I would go with the Bills though because I think the defense. There's more concerns on the roster for the Bills than there would be for the Chiefs.
We got one more, or was that number 3?
That was number 2.
Okay, give me one more.
All right, we're going to go San Diego State at home against Wyoming tomorrow night. What's your number one key for the Aztecs W tomorrow?
No turnovers. Wyoming is a good defensive football team, and their defense has traveled so far this year. They just shut out Colorado State. Wyoming is dangerous only if San Diego State turns the ball over. Obviously the Aztecs defense this year, 3 shutouts on the season. They're the only team in Division I college football to do that on this season. And San Diego State's playing fantastic right now. If you let your foot up off the gas, if you start making some silly mistakes, this game can flip real quickly. And for homecoming, with what's expected to be one of the biggest crowds of the season, one of the biggest crowds in Snapdragon Stadium history for San Diego State football, no stupid mistakes. If San Diego State plays their game, they should come out of this one with a win. And I know that's what J.R. Tolver and I will be talking about for the entirety of the pregame show tomorrow, which is on from 2 to 4. Please come by and say hi if you're there. Snapdragon Stadium. It's going to be a party, baby. Common Kings performing in the yellow lot in the River Park block party. So go check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow at Snapdragon Stadium. But the key is no turnovers and play sound defense. You come out with a win.
Not to just piggyback on that, but the Aztecs are in a different spot, in a good spot to be in that they actually have some expectations now.
Yeah.
Coming in the season, anything was an improvement. And that's not even like a shot. It's just last year was pretty rough. And again, you're seeing what happens when Sean Lewis gets his guys in here.
Their over-under was set at 4.5.
4.5. So they've already, per Vegas, per a lot of people's expectations in San Diego, I think, Fletch, I can speak for you and I, our expectations as well. They have clearly overperformed that. Now, I mean, we're starting to talk about this team. There's a path to where they're playing some really meaningful football in December and playing for a Mountain West title. These are the games. Wyoming on the road in Hawaii, you should win. Are you going to get caught? It's vintage in the NFL and college football, a trap game. Boise State's the big showdown in 3 weeks. Can you keep your record intact until then and not slip up and have a bad loss to where we're looking back at the end of the year and go, why did they lose that game? They're 10.5-point favorites in this one. Like Fletch said, you don't turn the ball over. I think they should be fine. But excited for this Aztec game tomorrow.
Look, Wyoming is a team that has done both of these things in consecutive weeks, all right? They lost to Air Force. Air Force has been terrible this year. and they beat Colorado State 28-0. That's two very, very opposite sides of the spectrum here. But Wyoming is a dangerous football team who can come into Snapdragon and win. San Diego State, though, is a better football team. If they just play like they've been playing the last few weeks, they should come out of it with a win. It's going to be fascinating. I tell you what, man, this is the fun time. If you're a San Diego State Aztec fan, this is when hopefully they can feast a little bit here over the next couple of weeks and go into that Boise State game potentially nationally ranked. That's kind of what's at stake here. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Steve Hartman coming up in about 13 minutes. Right now, we're going to give away some Bryan Adams tickets. He's playing the Roll with the Punches tour is coming to Viejas Arena on November 16th. Neil Girardo, Pat Benatar will be there with him. Ticketmaster.com to buy tickets or give us a call right now at 877-767-4760. Sammy, what number you want to go with?
Let's go number 6.
Number 6, you're going to the show. San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. If it's your first time joining us, hello. My name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy. Sammy, say hi.
What's going on, people?
How we doing? Steve just won those tickets. Steve Hartman is going to be joining us in 8 minutes. Sammy, was it Steve Hartman who won the tickets?
It was not Steve Hartman that won the tickets. If good. Steve Hartman won the tickets, I would still be on the phone talking to him right now because Steve is not a quick get off the phone guy.
That's a great point. All right. Text line has been coming through in a big way about scary movies. 703 said, boys, you're absolutely right. Weapons is amazing. I'm watching Exorcist and Evil Dead tonight. Have fun and be safe out there. Ooh, thank you, 703.
Exorcist. I've never seen The Exorcist.
Dude, the OG Exorcist is crazy, man.
Is it okay? I was about to watch it last night. Is it the 1973 still scary?
So no, it's kind of goofy if we're being completely honest. It is a better movie if you picture it as a comedy.
Okay.
And I know that sounds kind of funky to say. And look, if you were watching it for the first time in 1973, I would imagine it would scare the absolute crap out of you. But if you watch it in 2025 as a comedy, like you laugh at parts that are supposed to be scary, it's really, really funny because you got a girl who's possessed, who is literally spitting out pea soup. Like it is, you can see the chunks in it. And it is pea soup.
I didn't realize that why The Exorcist is so scary is that this allegedly happened.
And in the middle of it all, she's like just cussing out a priest. It's kind of hilarious if you think about it as a comedy. Like if you play a Seinfeld laugh track in your head, it's really, really funny.
Okay. Because The Shining is actually still scary.
Oh, yeah. It holds up.
The Shining holds up. Like that's a freaky movie to watch.
858. Shout out to Joyride with Paul Walker. That movie terrified me as a kid. It's a good one, man. R.I.P. Paul Walker. Miss you every day, man. 949. McCarthy, Young, or Penix this week. Hurts is on bye, and I have Flacco as my backup trending out. Sammy, you want to be fantasy expert? You want to be Stan Lazinski real quick?
This is an interesting one.
I would probably go Bryce Young.
I would too, because I think you're going to have an opportunity. I had him in long shots to backdoor cover this because I think that they're going to be losing by a lot. I think it'll be close for a while, but I think they will pull away. Like Penix is just hard to trust right now, especially against the Patriots. And then McCarthy, it's like you're playing Detroit. Now, McCarthy would be my one because he has a lot to prove. Of any of these quarterbacks right now today, McCarthy has the most pressure on him this weekend. Because McCarthy's like, hey, if you come in and suck, like, look at what Sam Darnold's doing.
You also might get a rushing touchdown with McCarthy, which always helps out in fantasy. 615, finally firing Chris Greer has made this one of the best Halloweens ever, but that's only step 1 out of 3. Now, if they ever have the balls to trade Tua turn the ball over, I will call up the radio show and start singing, goodbye, Tua, it's been nice, a la Michael Scott style.
That's a fantastic text.
That is a great point.
We would love to have you call in and sing that.
615 also disagreeing with me that the fact that The Exorcist is not scary in 2025. Look, again, I watched it maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and it did nothing for me.
I like slashers. Like I know like Scream and the Halloween remakes are great.
Sure, with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, the new ones are pretty freaky.
I saw one that came out 4 or 5 years ago where he starts in prison.
Oh yeah,
that was good. And Jamie Lee Curtis has become like a doomsday prepper, and she like sets up her house to kill Michael Myers.
She's the only one that does anything against Michael Myers. Everyone else is just getting thrown around.
Somehow she's a superhero, which makes a lot of sense because she's like a 68-year-old woman.
Yeah, but she's not scared of him though.
I guess, and she is smarter than him. All right, Steve Hartman coming up in just a little bit. We did get this text that I wanted to react to about sports, not about movies, from the 858. I've been saying all month that Burrow is gone. Cincy fans laugh at me and say I know nothing about football. 2 teams that I could see Burrow going to next year, Rams or Minnesota, maybe even Chicago, out of the conference, and teams that can win now. In conference, maybe Colts, Raiders, or Texans. He's not going to a rebuild, and he's not going to a mess like Miami, Jets, or etc. So
you start to think about it.
Well, this is, if Joe Burrow tries to force his hand, this can happen. We could see the NBA mentality make its way into football. I think we already have with wide receivers, the George Pickens, the AJ Browns. Like we've already seen the NBA mentality start to creep in. If it happens with quarterbacks, it's a mess for the NFL first and foremost. But if there was a situation where it was going to happen, it's going to be Joe Burrow with the Cincinnati Bengals, because who in this league has more power than Joe Burrow? I could think of maybe 3 quarterbacks: Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. Other than that, Joe Burrow's the next guy on that list.
I think it's a good text. I think there's something to it. Now, I don't think the only way this happens is if Burrow's like, literally, I'm going to retire. Like, because if he requests a trade, the Bengals are going to go, yeah, pound sand. Like there's no way we're trading a generational quarterback. But
unless he sits.
Right. And Burrow's like, I'm about to be done playing football unless you trade me.
Which honestly, if he keeps playing for the Bengals, he might be. They have not shown the ability to protect him.
I mean, think about what the Bengals have done. You drafted Burrow. Okay, anyone can make that pick with the number 1 overall and see Joe Burrow's a good player. Jamar Chase at number 5. Again, Fletch and I can make that pick. Where is the scouting department? Where is the 5th, 6th, 7th round guys that become stars for this team? They have not been able to draft defense. They cannot draft the offensive line. They overpaid Orlando Brown. I could see this happening.
I honestly, in my brain, GMs get graded on 2 things. Like you said, wide receivers are generally not the hardest thing in the world to pick. Now, 5th round wide receivers like a Puka Nacua, tough to pick.
Right.
And GMs should get a lot of credit for that. But first rounds, the guys at the top
picking
of the
in the top 10 is slotted.
I would agree for the most part. Now, defensive and offensive lines, I think that's the GM's biggest job outside of quarterback. If you can draft those 2 positions, they make such a huge impact on the game that they kind of cure everything else for you. Wide receivers become better when the quarterback has more time to throw the football. Running backs, the success Jonathan Taylor has this year, large part is due because the Colts have the best offensive line in football. So I look around at GMs and I'm like, okay, Chris Greer, perfect example. Where's Miami's offensive line been for 3 years? Nowhere is the answer. Do they have, outside of Bradley Chubb, an impact player on the defensive line? No. They don't. So
Jalen Phillips is a pretty high pick. I believe he's a 2nd round pick.
But you look at GMs, and if you just grade them all on offensive and defensive lines, I think that you have a better understanding of the higher power in this league.
Right, like your Niners, I'll give a lot of credit for this. The Niners have found Hufanga. I know day 2 pick. Fred Warner. Like, there's a lot of players on this defense. Look at Jawan Jennings. Look at Brandon Ayuk. Like, look at the guys that the Niners are not picking in the top 5 every year.
Yeah, they just pick everybody who gets injured.
The Rams, Kyron Williams and Puka Nacua. Like, the good organizations draft well late.
Yeah, Les Snead said F them 1st and 2nd round picks because all he does is hit in the 3rd, 4th,
right,
and 5th.
He doesn't need 1st round picks. Right. He'll go get an impacts player at a spot that they know they need.
All right, Steve is coming up next. We'll talk to him in a couple minutes. Steve Hartman. We'll see what he has this week. Steve's been on fire the last few. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. SDSU 10.5-point favorites at home against the Wyoming Cowboys tomorrow. We can hear Fletch and J.R. Tolver on the pregame starting at 2 o'clock, as well as the game right here on San Diego Sports 760 at 4. And on Jammin' 95.7, you can hear SDFC, their second match against the Portland Timbers, looking to close them out in the first round. That game will get going at 6:30 again on Jammin' 95.7. Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store where you can find the latest fall looks, all for under $30 with new arrivals every day. You never know what amazing deals you'll find. Don't wait. Find a location at Macy's Backstage.
San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long, and every single week at this time, we have a very special guest who joins our show, the one and only, the Southern California Broadcasting Hall of Fame member. His name is Steve Hartman. You know him. You love him. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Fletch and Sammy, I want you guys to give me credit. You asked me last week, what are the chances of the Blue Jays winning the World Series? I said 0%. And I will stand by that. The Toronto Blue Jays have 0% chance of winning a game either tonight or tomorrow.
So all the money that everybody who listens to this show put on the Toronto Blue Jays is going to come true because the Hartman curse never fails. Thank you for that, Steve. We all really appreciate it.
Well, I hope that everyone, again, I do so many favors for people. I really do. I try to go out of my way. If people have followed me over the years, you know how it is. When I lock something, it is a lock for the other team. And if you don't take advantage, Fletch, I remember one year we were doing it. We were like, if you had just doubled down, like with every lock that I'd done, and just double it every week, you could have been a multimillionaire by the end of one football season. So again, I don't know how many more favors I could do for people.
So Steve, what do you make of the Dodgers? Like if they lose this game tonight, how would you assess the season and Dave Roberts' status going forward as manager of LA?
Well, he has a long-term deal. And by the way, that's why right now Dave Roberts feels absolutely no pressure. I mean, he was running the bases. Hassan Kim yesterday did a face plant out on the field, running around with his backup. He has no pressure right now. Look, he's already done every single manager that has been to at least 4 World Series and won 2 is in the Hall. He's been to 5 World Series now and already won 2. And has the highest winning percentage in modern Major League history. So it really doesn't matter. He's sort of like, yeah, well, I believe in our guys. They'll come through. Look, all the problems that the Dodgers had going into the postseason have emerged now against Toronto. A, their bats are quiet. B, their bullpen is garbage. And so, when Blake Snell is, giving up 10 runs in 2 starts and it goes 0-2 with a 7.71 ERA, that's trouble for the Dodgers. What's going to be interesting, guys, is let's assume for a second that Yamamoto comes up with a win. Game 7, you have to start Ohtani. You're not going to start Tyler Glasnow in Game 7. It's going to be Shohei Ohtani. And by the way, they have to start Shohei Ohtani. Otherwise, they could lose him in the lineup. He only gets to stay as the DH if he's the starting pitcher. So if he was the DH and then comes in relief, you have to replace him as a DH. So there's no question that Shohei Ohtani, if there's a Game 7, will start that game for the Dodgers.
Steve Hartman joining us for his Friday appearance like he does every single week. Steve, when you think about the history of the Los Angeles Lakers, there's probably nobody that has covered the team more, better than you have your entire career. And you look at how they are this year. Austin Reeves really stepping up. All of a sudden, he's a 30-point a game type player. Is there a chance that LeBron James is a number 3 by the time he gets back to the program?
There's a chance that LeBron James is a number 0. He'll never play for the Lakers again.
Wow.
Okay, so what is happening right now, guys? As you said, I mean, obviously, Austin Reeves is showing he can be easily a number 2, and he's got a great camaraderie going on with Luka Doncic. This entire offseason for LeBron James is uncharted territory. He has never gone into a season in his entire life where he wasn't the man. Ever. And so he goes into the season clearly behind Luka Doncic's. Luka Doncic would not have signed that contract extension with the Lakers unless he was guaranteed total say, total control of what's going on with the Lakers. And so this has put, this sciatica nerve or whatever it is that's keeping LeBron on the bench. Where did this come from? What's sciatic? I mean, things are going on behind the scenes right now. And now that Mark Walter has officially taken over as the controlling owner of the Lakers, decision time is coming up. But my gut tells me right now that LeBron James has already played his final game as a Laker.
If they do stay, if it's Reeves, LeBron, and Luka for the rest of the year, how far do you think the team can go?
Look, I mean, again, defense is the big question mark moving forward. I have no doubt that a team that's got Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves and some, fairly solid supporting guys, they're a 4 or 5 seed in the West. Are they a team that can challenge? No, because they don't have any scoring off the bench. And really, when you look at it, the superstar stats that Luka put up and Austin Reeves has had to put up tells you everything you know. So I like it. They're a 4 or 5 seed at the best in the West. But again, this whole LeBron situation is going to be something that is going to hang over the Lakers until a final decision is made.
All right, Steve, potentially the game of the week this week. It's the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. Why don't we do everyone a favor and just have you guarantee a Kansas City Chiefs win?
Okay, so Josh Allen is 4-1 in regular season games against Patrick Mahomes. There's something that he owns him in the regular season. Now, of course, Mahomes is 4-0 against him in the postseason when it actually counts. So I will guarantee, I'm doing this as a favor to Sammy, I will guarantee a Buffalo Bills win. And by the way, Sammy, the Bills are going to win this game. They always win these games head-to-head. And by the way, that's going to bury the Chiefs even further. Remember, the Chiefs right now are in 3rd place in the AFC West. Don't tell me they're tied for second. They're not. They're in 3rd place in the AFC West right now, and they're going to be deeper into 3rd place after they lose to Buffalo.
Well, that's quite an opinion. Colts Steelers on Sunday as well. Another big game. Are you believing in the Colts? Do you believe they're a legit contender in the AFC?
Here's the question about the Colts. There's no question offensively, and we knew Shane Steichen is an incredible coach, and he's got Daniel Jones right now with the number 1 QPR. Actually, I think Dak Prescott passed him. But I'll put it this way, he has a higher QPR and passer rating than Patrick Mahomes. So Daniel Jones is getting the job done. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor is on the short list of MVP candidates. The Achilles heel for the Colts, and we saw it against Justin Herbert in the second half against the Chargers, their secondary is crap. They can't stop teams in the air. So until they can actually show that they can shut down a team that has a legitimate passing attack, there's still going to be question marks for the Colts. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to exploit it, but down the road, that is the major Achilles heel for the Colts.
Steve, we got a couple fun Halloween questions for you, but the text line does want to know, okay, if the Lakers should trade LeBron James, what do they get back? And who do they trade him to?
That's a great question. Here's the problem. Obviously, if he has his say, and he does have his say, he would have to approve the trade. He would love to go back to Cleveland, except the Cavs have no interest in him right now. The one team that actually can match money for money and get a deal done without completely crippling their team are the Knicks. If he wants to go to New York, they've got expendable pieces without touching their big 3 to get him in New York. And when you consider that Halliburton's out for the year and Tatum's out for the year, the East is up for grabs. It really comes down to the Knicks and the Cavs this year. So that is the one place that if he agrees to it, he could end up with the Knicks.
Steve, you dressing up as anything this year for Halloween?
I hate Halloween. I have hated Halloween my entire life. Even as a kid, I thought it was so dumb to dress up in a costume. I was like, just give me the damn candy. All right. Forget the stupid costume. Hand me the candy, and I'm out of here. I hate Halloween parties. I know people live and die for Halloween. It's like their greatest day of the year. It is the absolute. In fact, I got to do some lame brain thing on television tonight where I'm going to be a reporter. At least I don't have to dress in a costume. But I'm interviewing some of our anchors who will be dressed as Dodger players, which, by the way, will be weird because we're going to actually do it at about 7:30 tonight before the game is over, and then air it at 11:30. And I'm just like, oh God, do I have to do this?
Yeah, the series could be over by that time. That's bizarre. Now, Steve,
exactly. I mean, it's like, it's to me, it's the lamest holiday. I mean, when I had little kids, you have to walk around trick or treating. I'm like, oh, do I have to do this again? I hated this. The best is when they could actually trick or treat on their own. Then I could sit down with the other parents and just get completely bombed and drink myself into oblivion. But yeah, so I'm working tonight, but no, I know you guys are big Halloween guys.
Sammy just won the iHeart Radio San Diego contest.
I won it in honor. My acceptance speech was for Steve Hartman.
Yeah, he said, the man who inspired me with his love of Halloween, Steve Hartman, who dresses up as a vampire every day of the year. Steve Hartman is why I was able to rock this Tommy Lee costume so well.
Did you rock a Tommy Lee costume?
His nipple's been out all show, Steve. You can't control this thing. It's just been popping out the entire time.
That is unbelievable. And what are you dressed as, Fletch?
I'm a Disney adult. I got the ears on. I got my Mickey Mouse shirt. I got my backpack.
Disney adult. You heard that right, Steve.
I got my light up popcorn bucket. It's a whole get up over here, Steve.
Is everybody in the building dressed up today?
Pretty much, yeah, except Mike Usher.
Of course, Usher's not going to do that. That's beneath him. All right. Well, I'm glad I didn't come visit you guys today. There will be a time, though, when I'm going to walk through that door and you're just going to be absolutely shocked. No forewarning, nothing.
Get down here. It's been too long.
Can't wait for it.
I know it has.
Talk about you.
It's been a crazy time, but once we get through World Series time, it loosens my schedule up. So just we got 2 more games. Dodgers win both. There'll be a champion. Big parade in LA on Monday, and then I'll be heading down.
Sammy, we're gonna start keeping track. Every week from now until Steve actually does come down is one more beer Steve Hartman has to drink with us when he does come.
Amen.
Ooh. We know some good spots down there, guys, where we can share a few brews.
We will definitely be sharing a lot of brews. You need to get down here.
We're putting the pressure on you, Steve. We'll talk to you next week, man.
All right, guys. Love you.
Steve Hartman, the absolute best. We love him too. All right, quick break here. We'll set you up for the weekend. What's coming up on San Diego Sports 760? Coming up next, it's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. What a week here on San Diego Sports 760. It's been a fun one. Thank you to all of our listeners who participated. We gave away a bunch of Aztecs football tickets this week. We gave away a bunch of Bryan Adams tickets this week. And of course, Sammy's been giving away a peep show all day today. It's been a fun one here on San Diego Sports 760.
We've had a fun week.
If you missed any of it, you can catch up on the podcast anytime on the free iHeartRadio app. Just search the Fletch Zone, search San Diego Sports 760, add all of us to your presets. We would love to see it. Sammy, I did get a DM from our buddy Jeff asking for the long shots lineup. He missed it at 12:45, but he won money with it last night. You're on a heater. What was our lineup today?
Jeff, I had got to lock it in for you. Thank you for checking in. All right, pulling it up right here. App's being a little bit slow. Okay, got it right in front of me. Jamison Williams, Red Demon. I like the addition of the Red Demon from Fletch. More than 49.5 receiving yards for the Lions. Receiver, Bryce Young, more than 186.5 pass yards against Green Bay. I think he's going to be able to backdoor cover this late in the game. Bijan Robinson, more than 37.5 receiving yards. Penix can be dumping out of the backfield, slow down that New England pass rush. And Daniel Jones, less than 248.5 pass yards. I think this is a big Jonathan Taylor game. Again, slow down that Pittsburgh pass rush, and I think they get a lead and kind of get after it.
If you want to get real nasty with it, Jonathan Taylor is a Red Demon at 1.5 touchdowns scored.
It is a flex. It is a flexi Friday.
Yeah, I know. If you want to get real filthy with it, that is one to take a look at. The Niners are totally screwed, by the way. Ricky Pearsall, Brock Purdy, both confirmed out for this game.
Okay, I'm not even like trolling you. What is up with Purdy? I heard the press conference the other day with Shanahan where he's like, he's got to let us know how he feels.
He's been limited in practice all week. My honest opinion is that Brock Purdy came back too early for the one game that he came back and hurt his turf toe even worse. I think he might have a Joe Burrow situation right now, and they're doing everything they can not to do surgery on him, but he probably needs it, and it could get a lot worse. That's what I think. Way to end the week on a positive note, Sammy. High fives.
High fives. Everyone eat some good candy tonight.
Eat good candy. Stay safe. If you have kiddos, be smart about where you're letting them go out, man. It's Halloween night's very fun and awesome, but also terrifying the same way. So be safe out there, everybody. We love you. We'll see you on Monday. John and Jim are coming up next. Tomorrow, 2:00, pregame coverage, San Diego State, Wyoming with me and J.R. Tolver right here on San Diego Sports 760. If you're looking for SDFC coverage tomorrow, it's over on Jammin' 95.7 for their postseason game against the Portland Timber. Hopefully we're coming on Monday talking about a win for the Aztecs football team, a win for SDFC, and previewing the start of games that count for San Diego State basketball. We'll see you on Monday. San Diego Sports 760. We out.